الأنبياء المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد الحمد لله. Continuing on with the Hadith al-Ahkam, the Hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, again, which are used to derive rulings, where we get a lot of rulings from. The next one, we're still in the chapter of the description of the prayer of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. عن أبي قتادة الأنصاري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصلي وهو حامل أمامة بنت زينب بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولأبي العاص بن ربيعة ابن عبد شمس فإذا سجد وضعها وإذا قام حملها. It's a narration about the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم that he would pray while he was carrying Umama binti Zainab binti Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, while he was carrying his granddaughter Umama. She was the daughter of his daughter Zainab radiallahu anha wa ardaha. And when he would go into the sajda, when he would go into sujood, he would put her down, and then when he would stand up, he would carry her. Right? This is the narration that we have from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the things that sometimes the translation doesn't give you is how often did he do this sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? How often did he do this? It said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would carry Umama while he was praying, and he put her down in sajda, and he went back up when he was standing. And in reality, that this happened, it's known to have happened one time. And that was at the death of his daughter Zainab radiallahu anha. As you know, the daughters of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they died before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And so she passed away, and so Umama was a young child at the time, and it said that she was crying, and so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to console her, carried her and then brought her with him to the masjid, and he was praying in the masjid while he was holding her, and he prayed in this manner where he was putting her down when he went into sajda, picking her up when he stood up. But because the Prophet ﷺ did this, it gives us insight into what is permissible, impermissible, etc. when it comes to actions that are not a part of the salah to be done in the salah. Right? Actions that are not a part of the salah to be done in the salah. So these are movements that you do in the salah. And so the scholars have broken this down into about the main 5 categories of the ahkam, the rulings. That something is mandatory, something is sunnah or mustahab, encouraged, and something is mubah, which is permissible, it's makruh, disliked, meaning there's no sin if you do it, but there's reward if you don't do it intentionally, you avoid that, and then you get ajr for avoiding that which is makruh, and then there's that which is muharram, right, which is prohibited. And so when it comes to movements in the salah, you have all 5 of these categories, right? The mandatory movements that are a part of the salah are all the movements that you do in order to fulfill your salah. So going into ruku, going into sujood, those are the movements you have to do. So those are the wajib movements of the prayer. Then there are the mustahab movements, which are again not a part of the prayer, but are still mustahab. So for instance, if there is a gap between people that are praying, and they're praying in congregation, and so to fill that gap, even in the prayer, is considered mustahab. It's encouraged to do so. Why? Because that is something that completes the prayer, it adds more ajr to the prayer, and so on and so forth. Like if somebody steps away in front of you because they broke their wudu, then the person behind fills the gap and everybody comes closer. All these things, again, they're not a part of the salah, but they're encouraged to do because they complete the salah. Then there are actions that are mubah, meaning they are permissible. And what is permissible is al-yasira lil-haja, as the fuqaha describe it, a something that is a simple, small act that is done for a reason. So if you have to scratch, like you have an itch that is really, really bothering you and you have to scratch, right? So you scratch it, if there's a reason you're doing it, it's not a huge movement, that's considered permissible, it's not going to invalidate your salah or violate your salah, or there's no sin on it anyway whatsoever. So anything that is small and is done for a reason, right? Done for a reason. And then there is that which is makruh. And makruh is something that is a small movement but is done for no reason. Meaning there's no reason for you to do it and you do it. So it's not, but it's something that is small, right? So for example, there's a bug on your neighbor's shoulder, right? You're not responsible for removing the bug off of his shoulder, but you do something like this. It's not necessary, but it's not going to break your salah. But it's better that you don't do it, right? It's better that you don't do it. So any movements that you don't have to do, those are considered makruh. And then the ones that are haram. Haram in the salah are actions that are continuous and they are major. Meaning they're major movements, they're continuous, and there's no reason for them to be done. Right? There's no reason for them to be done. So if you start your salah and then you start, opening up a bottle of water and drinking it, and there's no reason for you to do it. That's a big movement, and so it's not a part of, it's something that will be considered haram, meaning your salah will be considered invalid because you have interfered with the actions of salah with something that is not a part of it, something that is not needed to be done, and something that is considered a major action. Now what the Prophet ﷺ did was picking up a child. It's not a small act, right? Picking up a child, carrying the child, going into ruku, putting the child down. But the reason was, there was a reason for it to be done. The child was crying, the child needed to be consoled, and this is his granddaughter, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has this love for his granddaughter. He did this even during the khutbah with his grandsons and so on and so forth. So with children, this is, by the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a valid reason to add movements in your salah if you need to take care or console a child that is crying and pick him up and so on and so forth. So when we have, Taraweeh in the coming Ramadan, and we say Allahu Akbar and we start praying, and then, your child starts, they trip and fall or something and they get hurt and they start crying, right? Especially being a sunnah salah, not a fard salah and all these things, it is perfectly permissible to not break your salah and then pick the child up, console the child while you are in the salah, and to put them down in sujood, to pick them back up when you were standing, and so on and so forth. Right? So these are actions, actions that are directly demonstrated by the Prophet ﷺ, but they also teach us what kind of things are permissible, impermissible, etc. Based on this, the scholars derive these ahkam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to follow the example of the Prophet. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.